Okay, so I think we're live. Okay, wait, now it says setting up your meeting for Facebook Live. But I have a feeling that we are probably live. And the people can see it. Yep, I think so. Okay. Yes, we are live. Awesome sauce. Hello, 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 beautiful people. It is Gwendolyn here from your virtual admin expert. Welcome to Leading Behind the Scene, your weekly dose of inspiration to equip you in business and life. This month, I want to continue to introduce you to people that I think you should know. Today, I am chatting with the famous, wonderful, amazing Miss Patrice Copeland, who is an accounting professional with over 10 years experience in corporate accounting, accounts payable, accounts receivables, and customer service. So it is safe to say that Patrice has the experience and expertise to talk to us this week about budgets and how we need to be conscious of our mindset, expense tracking, and accountability habits when it comes to our money. Patrice is the founder and owner of View by Patrice, which is a boutique virtual services firm that supports entrepreneurs with budgeting, bookkeeping, and staying balanced. So Patrice, you and I actually met through another community where I happened to be leading the session for that day, and then Courage Melina spilled the beans about a mastermind program that I had, and then you decided to join the mastermind.
Correct.
So before we dive into your tips, tell me why, share why you decided to join the mastermind, and then, what did you get out of it?
I decided to join the mastermind wholly because I needed the accountability and someone to keep me on my goals. So that was major for me. So that was the number one goal. And I was going into the virtual admin space. So I knew that you was an expert on it. You was well recommended. So I was like, if I'm going to go in this space and somebody already figured out, why not go to this person?
Right.
Right, exactly. So that's the main reason why I joined the group, and I needed to stay on track.
Well, I'm so glad that you did, and so glad that you decided to stay connected even after the mastermind ended. Mm-hmm. So today you're going to be talking to us about 3 specific things, really, mindset, expense tracking, and accountability, all kind of related to budget. So I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna zip it a little bit and let you share these good tips. But of course, I'll be jumping in and making notes and asking questions and all that good stuff. So you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, I'm going.
So first I want to discuss a mindset, because whenever we're dealing with money, that's so important. So if we have a poverty mindset, we will automatically think, or we get discouraged that we don't have enough money, we'll never be successful. You already send those things in your mind and you become very discouraged and overwhelmed. But if you have an abundance mindset, then you think all things are possible for success. I can reach any kind of goals that I set myself out to do. So that's the first part of it. And to be able to start dealing with your mindset and shifting it so you can always have that abundance mindset, I think that you should begin to retrain your brain. So if you already have these thoughts in your mind that you may have grew up with, money is the root of all evil, money don't grow on trees, all the things that we grow up hearing people say day to day. Those things, whether we know it or not, play a factor in how we choose to use our money for us. And in that way, it's actually controlling us. And the goal here is for you to control your money, not for it to control you. So to be able to do that or retrain, I suggest that you come up with some positive affirmations. So instead of saying these things money is the root of all evil, then maybe you should come up with another affirmation, baby, I can embrace new avenues of money. Or another one would be manifesting more money comes naturally to me. Also, a lot of people I hear a lot from clients is that dealing with finances is hard and complex. I don't want to deal with it.
That's
It's a
so
lot.
true.
Yeah, it's hard. And instead of doing that, you should just think about it. Like financial security brings me joy. It brings me peace. In order to be able to have these things in control for my business, that's where the joy, that's where the peace gonna come in, instead of you sitting there thinking about how hard and complex it is. So I would suggest definitely starting there to kind of retrain your mindset on money. I would also suggest to think about your triggers when it comes down to money. Some people they usually deal with it for day-to-day things, like maybe anger may come up, loneliness may come up, or frustrations may come up. And all those were things, whether we know it or not, leads to our spending habits. You may be sitting there on the couch lonely, like, oh, let me go buy this purse. Oh, let me go buy this computer, or whatever the case may be. Just to kind of fill that void that you're feeling from these different emotions that you're going through.
Now that's so true, because that's me. I'll be like, this computer looks really good, but there's absolutely zero wrong with the computer that I have. But just because I'm bored or I'm thinking, why not? A lot of times, shiny object syndrome as well. Like something new just came out. It's a mess.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think, I wanted to tell you, instead of to overcome those triggers, I would say you need to find out what your financial why is. You need to figure that out. Like, why do I have these goals set up? Why am I setting out to start this business? It may be that you want to retire early. It may be that you want to start generation wealth. Like, you want to be able to provide something that nobody has left you. So whatever that is, you need to figure that out. And when those triggers of, I want to go buy that computer come up, you need to think about, hey, I need to set this fund to the side.
I just made myself a note, like, what is your financial why? Because I need to sit down and think about that, because I've done it from a business perspective, but I don't think I've ever really just like honed in on money. Like, what's the money why? So that's good.
Yeah. So I would definitely think about that. And a lot of people do use vision boards. So I say put that on your vision board or in your office. Like, if you have it posted note, your financial why, that's something you're going to continue to look at on a day-to-day basis. So that'll help you in your personal and in your business side. So on both sides of that. So those are like big things that I would say tackle as far as your mindset goes. Deal with the negative mindset that you have. You need to shift that and retrain that, and deal with your triggers. So come up with that financial why to handle that.
Okay.
So that's the number one.
What have you seen with entrepreneurs, like in terms of their business? Like, if they don't have that financial why, or they're not like even really good at budgeting on a personal level, how does that kind of impact them in their business?
Oh, drastically. So if you're not handling your money on the personal side, then you're not gonna handle it on your business side. So money is gonna be, you don't know where your money is coming in. You don't understand where your expenses are going. You may just be, a lot of people have a lot of stuff for their business as far as systems, like those subscriptions and all that stuff. You don't have a handle on any of that stuff. So it directly plays a factor. So that's why I try to work with people on both sides of the spectrum. Like, let's work on your personal finance, and then we lead into your business side also. So that is directly related.
That makes sense. And that's like a perfect bridge. Okay. I'm learning some stuff today. Taking some notes.
So the next tip I would say is tracking your expenses and tracking everything that comes into your revenues. So this is important on both sides also, because you need to know like where your money is. What is your money picture? So in order to do that, and in order to start your budget, you got to know where your money was going from the get-go. So start with that. So look back 3 to 6 months to go over your credit card statements. It may be receipts, it may be bank statements, whatever the case may be. Try to go back and get your categories set up, review them, and do an average of that so you can set up your budget. Because most people like to try to start a budget out with just put some numbers on it. That ain't gonna work.
He said it don't work, y'all. You can't just be pulling numbers out the air. Cut it out.
Exactly. It don't work. And if you don't want to go through that trouble in 3 months, or 3 to 6 months of finding statements, whatever the case may be, set up some of the tracking system. Like Mint is one that I've used and it's really good. You can link it to your bank account. It tracks everything for you. At the end of the month, it'll tell you spend this, that, and the third on office supplies, or you spend all this on this. So it kind of helps you out. And then you can move forward from that if you don't want to take the step of going through that. So that's a tip, but it's somewhere to start because you got to start somewhere.
Okay.
So with tracking, I will also say while you're tracking stuff and receipts, make sure you keep records of that. Record keeping is important on your personal side and your business side. Because if the IRS come back for you, you have your stuff together.
Nobody want to see the I, the R, and the S. Nobody. At least I know I don't want to see them.
Exactly. So record keeping is so important, and at least keep it for 3 years because they're liable to go back for that. So I would definitely say that as for your company. And also to help you with tracking expenses, set up anything that you can that can be automated. If you got any bills, utilities, or rent, or whatever kind of overhead costs you may have that's coming in with your business, automate it if that's possible. That helps you out in the long run.
Oh my gosh. And you know, I'm a fan of automation. Anything that can potentially be automated that doesn't take away like the human element, I am all here for it. It's actually one of the reasons that I got like a business credit card and started putting everything on that card that was related to my business, just so that I could keep up with it. Because I know in the beginning, especially starting out as a solopreneur, you was like, well, it's all my money. So, you know, it don't matter, but it do matter. So yes. I was like, you out here, you know better. Get a business bank account, do all your stuff from there. Don't like commingle the funds. So what do you think about like having a dedicated like card or something just for like business expenses? Does that help to make it easier?
Yes, and it's almost required, I would say. Do not commingle your personal and business expenses for your liability. They could come after you if you're an LLC, but if you commingling expenses and you get audited, they gonna see your personal just as well as your business. So then you messing yourself up. So yes, you definitely need to keep it separate. Cards, business accounts, all that stuff. Do not commingle personal with business. So that's true. And also, like you, I've learned that from you also is with the cards, with the business cards, to help with your credit for your business.
Honey,
so
yes.
Also,
better tell them.
So that's another reason why you need to keep it separate. You have your business card that you go get your supplies with, all that stuff. That helps you in the long run also with building your credit.
Yes. And for you solopreneurs who don't think that this applies to you, it does. So you are not exempt. Even if you're a sole proprietorship, you need to be treating your business like a business. So get you a business bank account, get you a business card, because it helps to build your credit. A lot of people think that as a sole proprietor, like, I don't have to build business credit. But trust me, especially during a time like we're in now, you don't know what resources you might need in the beginning. It's going to help you. I always say, build it before you need it. So when you need it, you already have it. Just saying, y'all. Pay attention. Hope y'all right now.
I agree. So when you're tracking your expenses, I would say definitely check in with this at least weekly. And if you can't do it weekly, check in monthly with your tracking. This way you can adjust any costs that you feel like you can alleviate. Like, I no longer use this system anymore, so let me take that off. So definitely check into your expense tracking to see where you can maneuver some things, adjust things. That way you're not just throwing money out there. Also, a big thing that we spoke about with the IRS is keeping all these expenses will help you with, tracking all your expenses. When it comes tax time, it makes it 10 times easier to be able to get your taxes back if you already started tracking these things out. Yes. And it saves you some money in the long run too, because I don't know about a lot of other accountants, but if they got to do the manual work of trying to figure this out, they're going to charge you for it.
They charging. And it ain't no small charge, let me tell y'all, because the sister made that mistake in the first few years and had to pay that accountant to find all that stuff. Lesson learned. She ain't never had to learn that lesson again.
Exactly. So I would definitely say do that for your own purposes, both sides of the fence, personal and business. So that would be definitely the tip 2 that I would say. Track your expenses and stay on it. Don't let it get out of control. For sure. And the third one is accountability. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, that's one of the reasons why I joined the business mastermind. I needed the accountability to keep moving, to reach my business goals, all those things. So you need that in your life. And it could be a business mastermind, or it could be other entrepreneurs that you know. It can even be a friend, but make sure that friend is somebody who is like-minded like you. Not the friend that's going to be like, oh, I know you said you need to do this, that, and the third, but let's go here and let's spend this. That's not the accountability partner that you need in your life.
I say they from the devil. they from the devil, because they trying to distract you from what you know you should be doing. And you have to teach people, right? Like, yes, I work from home, but that don't mean I could just pop off in the middle of the day. Like, a sister still got things to do. She still got clients. She still got tasks. She still got goals she's trying to reach. So if I ain't calling you on your 9 to 5 or whatever you doing and being like, come on, let's go, blah, 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 and it's the middle of the afternoon, I'm gonna need that same consideration when you dial in my phone. Don't be over here trying to distract me, because I'm trying to keep it together. Like, I'm trying to be accountable to myself. And that is so true. And, you know, if all else fails and you're really, really struggling, then that's why you have Patrice. That's why you have people like Patrice, like, hire you a bookkeeper. Like, sometimes you just don't have the capacity to deal with the numbers, or maybe you really are afraid. You need a guide, and that's what, you know, she's there for, and people like her are there for, that offer this service. Because I'm telling you, it's like a weight lifted. It's just like one thing that, you know, it's done correctly. The IRS ain't coming for me. If they do come for me, my stuff is in order. I could be like, here you go, there go my books. But you want to make sure that you have somebody to hold you accountable. So if you don't know how to do it yourself, then you need to be going to viewbypatrice.com and booking that discovery call so she can help you out. I'm just saying.
Exactly. So that's really important. And let them know your goals and try to make it fun. I say, meet with them monthly. Y'all can have a monthly meeting. I know right now a lot of people are doing social distancing, so maybe do a Zoom call with a cocktail. I don't, you know, whatever you got, make it fun to say, let's go over these goals, whether they are your budget, whether it's a business plan, whatever the case may be. Y'all can bounce ideas off each other, but definitely check in with them monthly and make sure they're holding you accountable, and you may hold them accountable on the things that they have going on in their life. So just make it a fun activity for sure, because you need them. And I will also say, when y'all get together, or personally, celebrate all your wins. And maybe when we can get out in the world, go shopping or buy this and the third. It may be for your business, as long as it's in the budget.
She like, as long as, did y'all see that eyebrow raise? Like, as long as it's in the budget. Exactly. But that is so important, right? Because I just started this challenge about 4 days ago, the 75 hard challenge. Girl, I'm only on day 4, and I swear to God, it's working a sister out. But anywho, one of the things that I did was I said, okay, if I make it through these 75 days and complete this challenge, then I'm going to reward myself with X. And that gives me time to make sure that I've saved for X, to make sure that there's something like a goal tied to it. And this is something that one of my clients, Kyla, does like religiously. Like, she's really good about goals and rewards and that whole thing and tying it. And so I'm like, okay, now, and then you can feel good about your purchases, right? You're not just out here just buying for absolutely no reason at all. You've actually attached it to something meaningful, and you're not busting the budget, because you built it into the budget. So you can build rewards, you can build things in the budget to do for yourself. So it's not like you have to like go cold turkey or you can't do anything for yourself. You just have to be mindful of it. And so I think another thing to what you said is being prepared and being accountable is when you sit down to do your budgets, whether it's, you know, annually or semi-annually, whatever. I know when we were in corporate America, October was always budget time. Like everybody was working on a budget in October. Like, don't talk to nobody, don't ask nobody for nothing, because everybody trying to figure out what money they gonna need for the next year. But they built in things like doing things for the team, doing, you know, taking trips or whatever. So you build it into the budget. And I think it goes back to, again, teaching us discipline and accountability, because I don't know that we've had these honest conversations about it, you know, in a lot of places. I know at least when I came into the virtual space, there wasn't anybody having a conversation, or I should say I wasn't exposed to anybody who was having a conversation. Right. I didn't hear it. It could have been going on, but I didn't know of it. And so I think that's a great way to kind of start to change some of that. So I'm so glad that you shared these tips. So are there other software tools, like other than Mint, that you would recommend in terms of like maybe helping to make budgeting easier or to start getting a handle on your finances?
Definitely Mint. Another one for businesses is Wave is a good one. And Zero is one, QuickBooks is one. And when we say budget is for the business side, I know a lot of people like, what you mean a budget for my business?
Yeah.
Or income statement. That's what the budget is for your business. It's just going to show you your revenues coming in and your expenses that are going out. And it's going to show you what's left over at the end of the month. So think about that when I mention budget. It's the same as your income statement. So all those softwares will be able to help you track and give you that budget. Mint will actually do a budget, but the other softwares, like I said, your income statement will be something that it can produce at the end of the month for you. Also, if you just old school and you don't want to start with a system, a spreadsheet will work. A good old spreadsheet.
Spreadsheets are gold.
I am a fan of a spreadsheet. So just pop out a spreadsheet, put up your couple of columns. I mean, all you need to know the dates you did it, the amount, the category, and you got your system tracking. And actually, I have a template attached in my bio on Instagram that you can pull a template for expense tracking, and gives you the different columns. So you can pretty much do whatever you want with that to be able to kind of help you track it out. But definitely, I would say those are definitely systems that can help you. And if not, use a spreadsheet. It's simple.
As I go open up a tab to go to Instagram to get the template. So this is so great. So before we go, like, when do you think a business owner should seek out help with their finances?
I would say definitely when you get to the point that you know you don't want to do it anymore, or you don't have the genes to do it anymore. And by you actually tracking your expenses starting out, you know when you can afford to outsource it. So don't jump out there in the beginning and there's no revenue coming in and you can't afford it, because you already starting out in the red, and that's not what we want to do. So I would definitely say when it's just becoming overwhelmed and you don't want to do it and you can afford to outsource it, definitely reach out for help.
Okay, I love it. I actually just had another question before we go, so I have one more. Okay. So how does budgeting and planning, like business planning, kind of work together? Is there a way that you can use the numbers to kind of help you plan for the things that you either need or want to do in your business?
Definitely. So personal for the solopreneurs, a lot of times you are, like you mentioned, putting the money in so you think you can commingle all that stuff. But if you have your budget set up, you know how much you can put towards starting a business. So you can plan accordingly. If your goal that I need $1,000 to start my business out, and you put a line item on your budget as business plan, every month, that whether it's $100, if it's $500, whatever it is, that line item is going to that. So your budget can help you get to that point. And also, they relate because if you do a budget, you could do one for your business to plan out your costs. Like, what costs are you going to have to start this budget? You may not know them directly, but you can look up, like we mentioned, if I need I need to host my website. So you can look up those types of costs to be able to figure out what is it going to take me to run this business.
Yeah.
Not only that, it'll help you plan on your pricing. So once you got all your costs set up, then you know how to price your products, what services, this and the third. So I believe they directly tie for those reasons. And it's going to help you in the long run for like business loans. They're going to want to know what your plan is for that.
Very true. Very true. And for those of you who may have taken up on the Paycheck Protection Program with the whole COVID-19, if you were affected by that, then you know they were asking for your documents in terms of how you have managed your finances, I think for like the last year. So you want to make sure that you are definitely doing that. So I'm gonna tell y'all again, if you're not doing it, and if you don't know what an income statement is or what a line item is, and some of these things that we've been talking about, you need to go to viewbypatrice.com and book that discovery session so she can help you out, because I don't have time today to explain it to y'all. I love y'all, but you need to go talk to Patrice, because again, sister got somebody that does bookkeeping for her because she already knew. I'm not gonna get caught up like that. So anything you want to say to them before we sign off?
I want to end it by saying we went through all these tips and how important it is to stick to it. Also, I want to say that make sure you give yourself grace. I mean, there's going to be days that you fail, or days you don't even want to deal with it. You don't want to see an expense or income statement, or you may spend something that you was supposed to spend on. Just give yourself grace and pick yourself up, use it as a learning experience, and start back over again. I seen this statement today and it made me think about it, that it said we cannot become what we want to be by remaining where we are. So I'm saying don't get stuck. The change start with you. Keep on going. Pick yourself up. Keep it moving. So give yourself grace.
Oh my gosh, Patrice, that was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing these tips with us today. Lots of thought-provoking things to do, a lot of reflection to do. So beautiful people, if you enjoyed this, I would love for you to hit like, share with anybody else that you think might enjoy it, or who you know needs to hear this information about budgets and money and accountability and expenses. Be sure to leave us a comment. Let us know what your takeaway was. If you have any questions or tips or experiences you like to share, be sure to share those in the comments as well. And I will try and answer as many of the questions as I can. And I will get feedback from Patrice if I see questions for her. You can also send her an email. Tell us your email, Patrice.
My email is contact@viewbypatrice.com.
Yes. So if you have questions that you want to just directly have kind of private one-on-one, be sure to send her an email. She will definitely respond. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those good places at Your Admin Expert, and subscribe to the email list on yourvirtualadminexpert.com for even more tips, tools, and strategies. Be sure to follow Patrice on Instagram at viewbypatrice, and be sure to visit her website at viewbypatrice.com and book your complimentary discovery call. It's free, y'all, so it doesn't hurt to get the information. So I will see you again next week for another session of Leading Behind the Scenes. Have a good night.